now rocking with the best. Who's the boxing show that's knocking out the competition? The kick-ass podcast that make you want to listen. The place where boxing fans and fighters rejoice. Thumbs up for Richie, you're listening to the fighter's voice.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Fighter's Voice Kick-Ass Podcast. I'm your host, Richard Ortiz, and we got a great show for you this evening. With us by way of Zoom, we got co-host, dog boxer Eric. And our guest tonight is the one and only Mr. Robert Garcia. But he does need a proper introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, making his television debut, the one, the only, they call him the Baby Bear. Along with the former world champion, future Hall of Famer, trainer Robert Garcia from Robert Garcia's Boxing Academy. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hey, thanks, Richard. Thanks for having us, bro.
Hey, I just had to get that introduction out of the way. I didn't even plan that, but we got to have the Baby Bear on there.
Give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up.
All right. Thank you, Bear. Right on. Hey, Eric, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, brother. How's everything been, man?
Everything's good. First of all, I appreciate you moving some things around and being able to make this show because you knew it was going to be fine, and it's really needed to happen.
I heard Robert was going to be on. I said, you know what? Let's cancel everything. Let's make sure that I'm on the show. Make sure it's good to go.
That's right, Eric. That's what to do it.
Robert, let's get right to it, man. I mean, you're about once again to just take over the boxing world, not just as a trainer, but you just have that eye for talent, man. And let's talk about those who don't know. Tell us about Robert Garcia's Boxing Academy.
Well, we obviously we have a lot of professional fighters who are already some are world champions, some are ranked in the top 10 in the world. Some could be pound for pound some of the best fighters in the world. So we got all that, but we also have the beginners. We start from the amateurs to the pros. We have around 100 kids that come to the gym daily to get a good workout, and those are the ones that in the future could be headlining some of those big cards. So that's it's not just a training camp for professional fighters. It's also a training camp where we make the champions. We make them from the beginning. Quite a few of my world champions have been champions that I started from the amateurs to the pro debut to eventually become world champions. So I think that's what makes it a little more exciting there when we get them from the beginning.
Robert, I know you got to get some rest. Who runs that? Who runs the amateur workouts for the young guys?
Right now, my son Pita, Chepe, and Art. Those are the three that are running the amateur program, and myself. I'm also there in the evenings with some of those kids. We're actually planning on starting a training camp. Oh my God! Sorry, guys.
Oh, he took a good shot to the chin there.
We're starting a training camp hopefully by next month where we could get some people from around the country, wherever they want to come in, to do like a 5-week training camp with us and all of our professional fighters, together. That way they could get the experience of training and eating and running, sleeping, everything with all of my with the way a world champion does it.
When is that going to take place?
Guys.
No problem.
I'm going into the house. Sorry, I'm just going to get into the room.
Okay.
It's outdoors. Outside. It was outside, and there was some noise.
Hey, Eric, we should join that training camp, man.
Let's do it, man. I can drop some weight right now.
You know what? It is going to be. We're going to start doing it. We're planning on doing it the month of November. So we'll have more information in the next few days. My son and Chip are the ones organizing all that, and I'll be involved too. It's going to be I believe a 5-week training camp.
5-week training camp. Robert, when do you,
Yes,
what's your schedule like, man, from waking up to going to sleep? Because people think you never sleep. They constantly see you working with different fighters. They'll see you on a Friday in Texas. On Saturday, you're in Las Vegas. You may be in the UK, and then you'll post a picture that you're finally taking a little vacation with the family. I mean, what's it like being Robert Garcia, waking up in the morning?
Well, look, we get up early. You know, obviously, you know, right now with all the fighters that we got lined up to fight next month, we're gonna have quite a few fighters on the card, the top ranked card in San Diego, October 15. So we're pretty busy. You know, we start off training the workouts in the gym. We start at 12, and we don't finish till like 8. You know, Mikey starts at 6 and finishes like at 8:30. And then when I get home at nights, you know, I watch videos, I watch fights, you know, our opponents. I study some of my fights. I'm on the phone. I'm on the phone working on matching other fights, because you know we just got so many fighters that I'm always on the phone matching some of my guys. We have quite a few of my guys fighting October 29 in Mexico. So, you know, just booking fights and in the gym training, you know, the little time that I get spend time at home, you know, it's either gonna be with Bear, my kids, my wife, and enjoy as much as I can, bro.
Hey, living the life, you know, doing what you love. Eric, listening to that, and you know this man's constantly on the grind, as you are. Well, what's your connection with Robert? Because some people see you working events together, some people see you hanging out together, and a lot of people really want to know, well, what's your connection and what's your thoughts the way Robert's running the academy? And now you hear that he's even working with the younger kids now and getting ready to invite people from all over the world.
Even all the way back to Oxnard, he's always worked with all the kids. So that was one of the programs that I always looked up to. That's what made me really want to start my program up in Northern California, was kind of watching the way that he was doing his thing down there. Robert could tell you, man, I've been a fan of his since day one. And you know, through the years, we had mutual connections of different fighters and whatnot. But he fought a really good friend of mine that just ended up taking Robert's side on it, and that started the friendship, I think, from back then. And we just kind of rolled from there. And then the more he was up in Northern California, the more we would meet up a lot. And you know, just I know how busy he is. I know how crazy the gym can get at times. So he always knows, you know, if I'm only a phone call away, and boom, I'll do some corners with him here and there and whatnot. But you know, he's a busy guy, and I definitely know that. So when you get a text from him, you're quick to answer really quick to see what's going on. And sometimes it's funny stuff, sometimes it's business. So it just all depends.
So you know you're gonna be there October 16, right?
I'll be there October 16th, Fresno.
Well, see, Eric, you're the fortunate one. I mean, because at least you get a random text, you know. I mean, well, Robert always returns my text. I'll say, "Good morning, sir. How you doing?" And he'll say, "Hey, what's up, bro? How's everything going?" So I do appreciate that. And Robert, I do know you're busy, man.
Nah, definitely, bro. You guys have always been good people to me, you know, and definitely I want you guys to feel the same way about me, because you know, I appreciate good people like you guys.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate that. I mean, since the very beginning of when me and Robert really just started doing a lot of things in the ring and whatnot, he's always been a very humble person, and I've told that to many people. You know, Robert's just a really humble guy, and it takes them to meet him to understand what I mean when I say he's a very humble guy. You know, I think the first time we were out in Fresno, you didn't even have Ramirez yet. I think we were there for Alex. When the nail was just starting up. And
I remember that. I'll tell you a story about that too when you're done.
Yeah, everybody wanted to take photos with Robert, and we were going back and forth from the back to the front, from the back to the front. We were trying to watch the fights, and Robert would not say no to anybody. It was picture after picture after picture after picture. And I was like, yeah, Robert, let's grab a beer and let's just go sit down, man. And then it took Lee Sanders to go and sit us down to finally sit down. But yeah, he's just a really humble guy, and a lot of people don't realize that until they meet him.
Well, I'll tell you a quick story, man. I mean, this is how raw I was and how green I was. Robert was there in Fresno working the corner. and I see him, and I said, "Oh shit, that's Robert Garcia." So I didn't even wait for the fight to end or nothing. When Robert was sitting there in the corner yelling instructions, I go and tap him on the shoulder, and I said, "Hey, when you're done, can we do an interview?" And Robert turned around and goes, "Yeah, bro, yeah." But kind of that look like, brother, I'm working right now. But he was still so kind. This is real talk. I tapped him on the shoulder. He had his cornerman's jacket on. I said, "Brother, when you're done, can we do an interview?" Yeah, brother. He goes, "Yeah." But he was kind of telling me like, "Yeah, brother, but I'm working right now." But I noticed him in Fresno.
Now that you say that, there's been it's some funny things happen in boxing, and I've been in the middle of fights. For example, when we were in the bubble with Jose Ramirez fighting Postol.
Yeah.
And a lot of friends, people in boxing, they got my number, obviously. So during the fight, I'm getting a lot of phone calls and text messages, and obviously I'm not gonna answer the phone or anything. But after the fight, I see all my messages and phone calls, and some of the messages were to tell us, what the other corner was telling Postol, hey, you guys got to watch out for that jab. They're telling him to throw that jab, stuff like that. And I'm not gonna be, looking into my phone. So that's not gonna work, because obviously I'm not gonna waste my time looking at the phone, during a championship fight or any other fight. But I do get, people do, and they do it in good, in good faith. They want to help out, they want to be part of it, and but it's funny at the end, and I'm I start laughing because it's funny that they might expect me to get in, to be watching my phone and answering their messages, but it just makes me feel good, that people actually got our back.
Hey, they're thinking about you, and actually one of the text messages was probably Eric.
I was just gonna say I'm gonna make a note to stop doing that shit now.
It's all good, and he's saying, "Answer the phone, cabrón. Come on, we're gonna win."
I'm like, "Hey, bro, your hat's crooked. Fix it." Yeah,
exactly. Well, Robert, you know what stuck out in my mind, and I'm going to talk about a fight, but I'm going to talk about your actions after the fight. I want to talk a little bit about a top-ranked fighter, prospect / contender, undefeated, from Stockton, California. He took his first loss in the ring, and you went out of your way when he was walking to give him a hug, and you told him something. What advice did you offer young Gabriel Flores Jr. during that time? And what were your thoughts on the whole fight?
Little Gabe and his dad, they've always been good people to me. They've shown me nothing but respect. They come to my gym, they get some rounds sparring with some of my guys, and they've always showed us, my dad, my team, nothing but respect. So, it hurt me, to see him lose the way he did. It was a tough loss for him and for his dad. He got a lot of people just talking shit, because he should have stopped the fight, whatever. People were just going at him, and it was sad also to see some people around ringside that were actually happy to see him lose like that.
That's classless.
It sucks, to see something like, the kids, they go in the ring risking their lives, and to see people actually smiling and happy about it just didn't make me feel good about the sport, because it sucks, a young kid, that's been doing this his whole life. They have he has a dream, he wants to accomplish it, and then he gets in there with a very tough kid. Nothing. We can't take anything away from the kid. That beat him. But it was just it was tough to see Gabe lose like that. So I told him, look, I think this is gonna make you stronger. This is gonna make you a better fighter. Keep your head up. Don't give up. Just push yourself a little bit harder. But yeah, this loss should actually help you, because I think some fighters sometimes nobody wants to lose, but sometimes a loss does help them, after, you're undefeated, 15, 20, 25 and 0, and then comes the day where you might think you're unbeatable. Sometimes you do your mentality does change. Maybe since you think you're unbeatable, you feel that everybody's gonna be easy. Maybe you don't train as hard. Maybe you're gonna take a fight when you might have been a little sick the week of the fight, but you think it's gonna be an easy fight that you think you're gonna have no problems, and you still take it, and then you learn from those guys that come, those kids from Mexico. Those kids are tough, man. They keep coming, especially when they know they're going in there against a good prospect, a kid that's already ranked in the world, a kid that everybody's thinking could be a world champion. Well, for them, they train like never before, because they know a win is just gonna get them to a better fight. So those are the tough ones, man. And I know Gabe will come back stronger. He's a great kid. He's dedicated, and he's focused. And this wasn't his night, but I know he'll come back stronger.
Eric, we're close to both the Flores' father and son. What were your emotions after the fight or during the fight?
It was tough to watch. I mean, I knew Gabriel wasn't hurt. I could tell right off the bat he wasn't hurt. He got winded, and that's where the mistakes started happening. But he wasn't hurt, and I think for Senior, nobody's ever going to understand a father-son duo more than a father and son. I know it hurt Senior watching it happen.
Yeah.
But the fighter's going to tell the coach with the trainer what he can do. And yeah, everybody's talking shit on Senior, saying, "Oh, it should have stopped. But he knew what Gabe was capable of doing, and Gabe's heart was in it. It was difficult to watch that whole, conversation that they had, where Gabe got up and just didn't want to hear it and whatnot. I mean, that hurt. That's hurtful, because the relationship between them, and Senior just doesn't want it to keep going, but he knows that anything can happen. But Gabe's heart was in it 100%, and like Robert says, this is just a learning curve for him at this point. I mean, he's hometown hero for us. So for that loss to come through, shit, I got people talking shit in my DMs. I got people saying, "Where was your boy at? What were they doing?" And it's like, my boys are in the ring, putting their life on the line. What are you doing? You're just watching it from afar, not really knowing what the hell's going on.
Well,
nobody knows. What's that?
No, go ahead. You said, what are they doing? And I remember Gabriel said something, Senior, during an interview with Ali Setback. He said, these guys are probably at home eating chips, all fat and shit and so forth. And I posted that because let the shoe if the shoe fits, wear it. And most of these guys that are saying that, and half of it is press and half of it are haters from day one. They were celebrating, and that's sad, because they don't look at the sport of boxing. It's not like losing a baseball game or a football game. The sport of boxing, you got two men out there trying to hurt each other.
Yeah. And I think a lot of the press that was given the bad press is all the people that wanted to see it happen. Wanted to see that first loss, because they hate writing another win for Flores. Yeah. This is how much closer he's going to get to that title fight. They hate writing that, because they want to see him fail, and they weren't having that. They weren't seeing that. They were just seeing him elevate. But like Robert says, some of these TJ fighters aren't coming over here to play.
No, they're
they're
not.
Training and they're preparing,
not.
because they're going to make a name for themselves one way or another. Even when we send fighters down to Mexico and stuff, you mentally prepare your fighters to understand, hey, anything can happen. So be prepared, be ready.
Well, Robert said it best. Eric, Robert, I didn't mean to cut you off. Robert said it best. He's only going to get better. But what I do see, Robert, and you can concur on this, I want your take back on this, is not only is Junior going to come back better, I believe Senior is going to come back better. Hearing this statement, what's your assessment on that?
Look, bro, I'm gonna give you a perfect example, and
okay.
And it happened earlier in my career as a trainer. And it could be a little bit different, because Flores Senior and Junior, they've been together their whole life, but in this case with me, it kind of happened. It's kind of similar stuff with Margarito versus Pacquiao. I was with Margarito. I think that was barely my second fight with him. So his managers were in the corner with me, and they knew him better than me, because they knew him since his pro debut. So they were telling, no, we, he Margarito's, that's the way he is. He's still gonna keep going, But we did get a lot of criticism saying that we should have stopped that fight, and we didn't stop it, and I think we should have. Now that I'm in, so with so much experience, if it would have been right now, I definitely would have stopped that fight. But then I was new in the team. The managers knew him better than me. So it wasn't going to be my decision. It was going to be their decision. And honestly, Margarito would have never allowed it either. Just like Gabe Jr. didn't allow his dad to stop it, even though his dad wanted to. But if we go back, do I think it's gonna affect his career? I don't think so. I think the kid's just gonna get better, and the dad's is gonna learn a lot more. Also, it's gonna help him. It made me a better trainer. Being involved in one of those the hard, tough decisions that you that you have to make or don't make. You learn a lot from that. So I think Gabe Senior is gonna learn a lot from that too.
Well,
Robert, do you think down the line Gabe would be someone that you would want to add to the stable?
Look, I don't see one thing is one loss doesn't mean you need to add somebody. I think that that's gonna learn too. Most of the time, all of his fights, all of his career, knockouts, not too many fights ago where he got a beautiful left hook knockout. Everybody was, he's looking really good. So nobody's saying anything about the trainer. Everybody's thinking they're doing a great job. So one loss doesn't mean that the kid needs a trainer. Maybe sometimes it doesn't hurt to maybe be in a gym where you're gonna get good competition, good sparring, make you better. But that doesn't mean the kid's gonna need a new trainer. I think that his dad's been doing a great job. They were undefeated until his last fight, and one bad fight doesn't mean the kid needs a new trainer. I think they're both gonna learn. They're both gonna get better, and I think eventually, they're both together. They could both, win a world title. Because they both worked their ass out for it. Why would they need somebody else when I think they're just gonna get much better?
Great question and great answer. Well, I'm telling you about someone that I'm really excited about somebody who's getting a new trainer, connecting back with their trainer. And let's talk about the return of Saul Nino Rodriguez to Robert Garcia's Boxing Academy, the return. How does that make you feel? Are you excited? Where do we start? And when can we see the collaboration once again?
You know what? I don't know. I'm just gonna tell you guys. I can't see you guys. I don't know if you guys could see me, but
Yes, we can.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
we can
Okay,
see you.
so check this out. So when Neno decided to come back, he went to my dad. Because Neno and his dad, they have so much respect for my father. So they went and talked to my dad, and my dad is one that called me and told me, look, Neno and his dad, they approached me. They're asking if they could come back and train with us. And I told him, of course, man. We always like Neno. Neno's a great kid, great person. My kids, Pita, Payo, they love Neno. So I told my dad, of course, he could come back. I know that since he got released by Top Rank and he doesn't really have anybody to back, and he doesn't have a promotion to back him. So we've been doing as much as we can. We got him a fight the night before Mikey. I think it was Mikey versus Jesse Vargas. We got him a fight the night before where he won by knockout, like in the 4th or 5th round, which is a good comeback win for him. But since we haven't been able to get him fights, like I'm telling you, he doesn't have a promoter, and he's in the gym. He's always there training and sparring and ready to fight. But we get a lot of I get a lot of calls. Hey, do you have a light way to fight 10 rounds? And the first person I always offer is Neno, and everybody rejects those fights, man. And just today, I'm not lying. There was last night, late at night, I got a call. do you have a 135 pounder ready to fight 10 rounds on the Benavides card in Arizona, I believe November 13th? I said, of course I do. I have Saul Neno Rodriguez. So they're like, okay, let me see if they'll accept the fight. Today I get a text message saying they rejected the fight. So it's hard, man. It's hard, for us to get a fight for Neno, because he was such a great prospect before he left our camp, and everybody thought he was going to be our next world champion, and his record and the type of knockouts he always had. So they're still worried about it. So I'm telling you, it's been so hard. There's been so many fights that we get that they just reject because they don't want to fight him. It's pretty crazy. But we're happy to have him back in the gym. He's a great kid, man. He's quiet. He does everything we tell him to do. He'll spar, even though he doesn't have a fight. He'll help anybody get ready for their fights. So he's in the gym every day, and he's a great kid, great person. His dad, same thing. So we're happy to have him back.
That sounds good. Very good. I'm smiling because, Eric, you started to smile because you've been in those meetings and as an advisor where, hey, they'll offer a young prospect a big name. They're like, hey, no, Charlie, we're not ready for that. So we have to turn that one down. And that's out of respect, but the fighter himself, I mean, he needs to get some fights.
Robert can tell you, I tried to match Neno recently, and I kept getting shot down. Nobody wanted to do it because they're scared. Neno's, he's still a force to be reckoned with. And, he's one of those fighters that he's on that comeback trail of, he's going to prove who he really is and whatnot. And it's just hard to get him back into that ring. So, yeah, it's exciting to see him back, definitely at the RGBA camp. But, hopefully we can find him something pretty soon.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm excited about. And a lot of other people are excited about this. And I always tell my stories of when I seen him spar inside the gym. I mean, let's talk about the return of Mikey Garcia. Not only the return of Mikey Garcia, but in Fresno, California. It doesn't get any better than that. For me, you know me, Robert. I'm up and down. I'm excited. That's in my backyard, brother. Come on. The whole week I'm going to be in that mix somewhere.
You know what, bro? For that, honestly, I gotta say it, and you guys have to know, Rick Marigan, bro. He's been asking for an opportunity to do something for Mikey, and when this came up, we already had the fight, and we were looking into Texas. It was first San Antonio, then it was almost a done deal to go to Corpus Christi. But Mikey has fought there before. Mikey's been there before, and I told him, Mike, you've never fought in Northern California. It's central, but for us, we call it Northern. For us, it's pretty much considered Northern California. So I told Mikey, I don't think it's a bad idea, man. And we get to give Rick that opportunity that he's been asking for so long. So far, man, he pulled it off. It looks like he's got everything going very well. He calls me every day. He's been calling me right now since I've been going live with you guys. So I'll be calling him after. He's got so much things going on the week of the fight. Stuff that nobody else does. So we also have to know that Rick had a lot to do with putting this fight in Fresno.
No, and I appreciate that. I mean, Rick has a way of generating excitement, of generating everything needed, and he loves to surprise people. And if he calls you one more time, Robert, put his ass on speaker. This is the fighter's voice, brother. I mean, hey, we'll take that call. We'll take that conversation.
He's good, man. I'm telling you, he works his ass off. He doesn't sleep, just because he's got to get things done. And he proved it with Jose Ramirez. The hard work he's done with Jose Ramirez, and Jose's also been involved, with so many things. He's going to be part of the event.
Yes,
Jose's also going to help out. He's going to help out on some of meet and greets and stuff like that to try to get people into the arena. I know it's going to be a good crowd, but I know with Jose and Rick, the work they do, we're going to have many more people that we might have not expected. We're gonna be involved with with the water situation in Central California, the farm workers, everything that Jose does for his community. We're also gonna be part of it. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna get a really good crowd.
We had Jose on Tuesday, and before he left, he said, "Yeah, I'm looking forward to helping my stablemate Mikey Garcia." Those were his exact words. Didn't blink, didn't hesitate whatsoever, and he was excited because he wanted to share his ideas with him.
Yeah, no. Jose is a great person, great friend, great person to have in the team. He shows nothing but love and support to everybody in camp.
Exactly. Very well said. Well, Eric, I got to tell you, Eric, you know which fight I'm really excited about, honestly. I mean, of course, Mikey. And we're going to talk about Mikey because I got off the phone with Brad Goodman, and I want to tell you how that conversation went. But what fight I am excited for, and I know this fight is not going the distance, and that's Bam Rodriguez. I mean, I'm excited about that. I'm getting goosebumps right now. I can see Bam just rushing him and just taking over. What was that? Who said that?
That's going to be an exciting fight right there. That's going to be a really exciting fight.
I can't wait
Hell
for that
yeah,
fight.
We were, pushing for Bam to get that title fight, and Mikey helped a lot. He helped pull it off. I don't even know if I don't think I should. It's
Yeah, you can. You can. Go ahead, Robert.
Look, okay, you want to put Rick on speaker?
Yeah, put him on speaker.
I don't know if he wants to be on speaker. I'll call him later.
We'll say hello. We'll say hello.
Okay, so check this out. Okay. So you guys know, and you guys have heard, Mikey always wants big fights against solid names. He's been offered fights before for very good money against names that might not be, that don't excite him. Mm-hmm. So this fight against Sander Martin from Spain was one of those fights where he wasn't really too excited, and he came into the gym one day, and he told us, "Look, if it wasn't for Eddie Hearn that called me and told me that Bam was gonna fight for the title, I was gonna cancel the show. I wasn't gonna fight." Mikey was ready that day. He was ready in the gym to tell us, "You know what, Robert? I don't want to take this fight. This is just not the fights that I want to do. I want to wait for a big fight, maybe Regis Prograis before the end of the year or early next year. But I really don't want to fight, this fight." But that same day when the same day that he was going to tell us that is when we got confirmation that Bam was going to fight for the world title. So that kind of forced Mikey to fight, so that way Bam doesn't end up without fighting for the title. So Mikey tells us, I'm more excited about Bam's fight than my fight, myself. I really want to see Bam become world champion. This kid, bro, honestly, my dad tells you in the gym, this kid is unbelievable, man. This kid, he's fighting for the 108-pound title. But this kid could, I'm telling you, this kid could be a featherweight one day, a junior lightweight, a super featherweight, because he's not that small, when it comes to size, but he's so talented, man, so fast, so strong, that he could eventually become a champion at featherweight.
Numerous weight classes.
5-6 divisions. He could definitely be a 5 or 6 division champion.
Yeah, he definitely is a multi-division champion, a future world champion. You could tell that just from the talent that you've seen from the fights that he's had, and I definitely think that this fight is going to be, what Fresno's really excited to see, and I'm glad that Mikey took the fight. That just shows his character and one, that he's willing to take one for the team and make sure that his stable mates are taken care of just as well as he is.
Exactly.
That opportunity. Can you, Eric, Robert, can you imagine both brothers headlining with both bouts in San Antonio? That arena is gonna go freaking crazy. It's gonna go nuts.
Well, I don't know if Mikey already made some phone calls, but Mikey's already working on that. Obviously we can't look past Bermudez
Absolutely.
Bermudez is a world champion, and he is he just beat a solid champion from Venezuela who was undefeated in like 26 professional fights, and he beat him. He knocked him out. So he's very dangerous. So we can't look past him. But we do have Joshua Franco as a world champion, and then we could plan
the professor.
If Bam wins, both of them fighting in San Antonio would be insane. We know for a fact a week or two after the fight, if Bam wins, we're gonna do a meet and greet in San Antonio where I'm gonna be there. We're gonna have media and everybody there because it's a big deal, man. It's a big deal. San Antonio is a great boxing city. It's shown nothing but support to their local fighters, but they've never had two brothers world champions, and especially at the same time together. So if they could both defend their title in San Antonio, Mikey already told us that he's going to look into that, and hopefully we could make that happen.
Hey, man, why are you doing that? And I don't want to distract him at all, but I've been trying to get Bam on the show since forever. So I want to give him his opportunity, man, and I want to hear him. And I remember when I met him at your gym, both brothers were very polite, very well-mannered, and just quiet. But when they were hitting the mittens, you could see the transition from the nice guys. They took the glasses off to they were turning to little assassins, man. And I just knew there was something special.
Yeah, those kids are very dedicated. They since they started coming to training camp, and with Josh, it's probably been over 5-6 years already. Bam, he's been pro for three or four. And Bam started coming to training camps at 16. And my dad always said, look, a 16-year-old is still a kid. And him already leaving his home with his parents, friends, brothers, sisters, whatever, and coming into a training camp to spend 2-3 months at a time, that says a lot about a young kid like that. And obviously with the skills that he has, I think the sky's the limit for this kid, man. This kid is so talented, and not only that, he's talented, he's so dedicated. He's with the first one that comes into the gym, everybody finishes, and he's the last one still doing his sit-ups, still doing some jump rope. The only one that beats him to that is Virgil Ortiz. Virgil comes a lot earlier and leaves a lot later. But besides that, Bam is next to him. He trains like nobody else. He's motivated, he's dedicated, and they're so young. He just he's 21 and already fighting for the world title, and it'll be great, man. The kid has so much potential. I'm telling you, the kid could easily be 5-6 division champion, maybe even more, in the future. Pacquiao did it. Pacquiao started at 108, and Pacquiao came to become a super welterweight champion. That I don't think we'll ever see anybody accomplish that. But I think Bam could do 5-6, maybe even 7 weight division, because he's that talented.
Hey, you know him inside and out. I was shaking my head earlier, Eric, because he's talking about his prospects, his champions, and then he name drops, with Virgil Ortiz. That whole gym is just stacked with talent, prospects, contenders. How does it? I'm going to tell you right now, Robert.
You walk into that gym and you don't know where to look.
Exactly.
Whether it's looking up at all the photos of all the champions that he's had lined up against the mirrors. You've got banners everywhere that you're just amazed at. You've got a ring on one side, a ring on a whole different side of the gym, and all within that, you've just got stars left and right. You've got the number one prospects in boxing. You've got current world champions. You've got the future world champions. Training right behind you. You have you just have everybody in the gym, and you just don't know what to do. You're starstruck. You're stuck, and you just want to meet everybody and shake everybody's hand. And that just wholly describes our GBA in general.
And Robert's being so humble about it. Every single time that I went, when I go there, freaking Showtime was leaving. I went there another time. Fox Sports was leaving. They were there. I went there another time. ESPN was shooting Jose Ramirez, which they gave us a cameo, and I appreciate that, ESPN. You never know who's going to walk through those doors or come out those doors. And then 2 days later, I'm thinking I should have stood there, because then I see Clarissa Shields there. I see the MMA guy there. And, I mean, the who's who is walking through those doors.
And it's cool to be on social media because you start seeing people tag the gym.
Yes.
And you're like, no way, that guy was there. No way, he was there too. And it's constant. It's constantly, man, there's no way that these guys were all here. And sure enough, they're all here. Every time I go, I like to just wait outside to see what Mikey's driving.
Well, I tell you what I want to see, and then I'm going to move on from this. I want to see the rivalry continue of these two great trainers. I want, like, Mark Wahlberg to walk in there one day and say, hey, Robert trained me, because I'm going to have an exhibition with a Mario Lopez, who's going to be trained by Freddie Roach. And you know, can you imagine Mark Wahlberg and Mario Lopez going at it?
And that would be awesome, because Mark Wahlberg is a great actor. He's a big boxing fan. From what I know, never had a chance to meet him, but you know, I definitely would love him to step into my gym, because I know he loves boxing and I know he boxes himself. So definitely would be pretty interesting to have him in our gym.
No, that would be cool, and never say never. You know, I got some more questions for Mikey, but Mikey's going to be on the show next Tuesday at 8:30 after his workouts. But I do want to ask you this, Robert, because questions were coming in, and I'm gonna go ahead and bring it up. I mean, what was the conversation with your brother as soon as you stepped out of the car when he just started putting his foot on the pedal? What did you say to him when you weren't on camera, when you got out of the car? That's what people want to know.
You know what? Once I get out of the car, I'm like, oh fuck, I made it. So my next question was, let's get my sister. Let's get my sister. So I said, let's get Jackie, because that's my. Let's get Jackie, Mike, because it was scary, bro. That shit was scary. And we actually got my sister in the car too. You know, Mikey has videos of my two sisters. Mikey has videos. Mikey just. You know, he could be a fucking asshole, you know, just to fuck with us. You know, he knows I will never get in a car with him, but he tricked me into it that time. He told me it was something, you know, he put in the car just to make it stronger, that it could help my truck when I take my boat out to the lake and everything. He says, look, this is going to make your truck even stronger. So he tricked me into getting, he just wanted me to feel the power of that, I don't know, some machine or whatever it is that he added to the car. But I think it was just bullshit. He just wanted to get me in the car. And once he went down the hill, I knew it was going to be scary. That shit wasn't fun.
Those of you who don't know what we're talking about, I guess it could be on YouTube or Mikey's channel or Robert Garcia's channel. But Robert got in the car with Mikey, and I believe it was one of his racing cars, a Ferrari or a Spider, I don't know. But just Robert's reaction when his brother was going from 0 to 90 in 1.1 second. I mean, that would do the same thing for me too, man. So I really can't say anything. I mean, you actually did pretty good. You did better than I would have. You did do better than I would have done.
That shit was scary, honestly. Believe me, that shit was scary. You know what? I'm not going to say which one of my sisters, because it was two that did it, but when she got out of the car, she peed her pants. Honestly, you know, it was that scary, you know, because you know, Mikey's laughing about it. Mikey doesn't care. He's laughing about it. Plus, it wasn't in a track, you know, where maybe you're a little bit safer. It was in a road up the hill where you know, there could be cars coming down. There could be there's a lot of wild donkeys that cross the road.
Damn.
And he just doesn't care. You know, he's one of those guys that you know, he's a risky person. You know, he likes that feeling, and he doesn't care. You know, one thing is doing it by himself, but bringing me or my sister's wasn't our choice. He pretty much forced us to get into it, and he had fun.
Hey, man, he's just that type of guy. He's a 4-division world champion and chasing 5. You have to be a little nuts to accomplish all those feats there.
Right, you're right.
Well, Robert, I'm going to go to some questionnaire that we got, some questions and some comments that were brought your way. And let me see. This is, okay, we'll just go straight to this one right here. From Regis Progre. Ask him what happened to me and Mikey.
Regis, you know that's the fight that Mikey wants, and I just said it earlier. Mikey didn't even want to take this fight because that's not the fight that excites him, but he took it only because Bam is fighting for the world title. So Mikey took it for the team. He wants Bam to become a world champion, so that's why he took it. But I know that he was gonna talk to Eddie to see if they could put the fight sometime in December. I think we still got plenty of time. So, that's the fight that Mikey wants, Regis. He doesn't want to fight anybody else but you. I believe that the budget wasn't there for any time around September or October. So that's why Mikey's taking this smaller fight. And like I said, Bam could become world champion. But besides that, Mikey wants to fight Regis. I know Regis wants to fight Mikey too. I've talked to Regis. I talked to Regis' manager a lot. We talk often, and hopefully Eddie Hearn or anybody else. Mikey's not signed to nobody. Hopefully somebody could put up the budget to make this fight happen, and we are hoping that it's before the end of the year. Mikey will get back to the gym. Hopefully there's a lot of dates. There's a lot of Saturdays, like 4 Saturdays in December. So we could pick either one of those, and I know Regis will be ready. So that's what happened, Regis. Not that Mikey's not trying to fight you. Mikey wants to fight you in his next fight. It's just the budget wasn't there to pay you, because you guys both deserve to get paid. Why would you guys take a cut? So let's wait a few more months, and if they could pull up the money, the fight's gonna happen for sure.
Robert, what happens in that fight?
You know what? It's a tough fight, man. I've got phone calls from different people, matchmakers, and they've told me, does Mikey really want the fight? Because that's a really tough fight. Regis is a very strong fighter. I've talked to people that have sparred him before, and they tell me, fuck, Regis is fucking strong. Actually, some people I know from Texas that fought him in the amateurs, and even in the amateurs, they tell me that he was such a strong person. So it's not an easy fight. But like I told you guys, Mikey, those are the fights that excite Mikey. Mikey wants those type of fights. He doesn't. He didn't want this fight that he's taking. But I also think it helps him stay on a stay busy fight, get some rust off. He hasn't fought in a year and a half, so it's also going to help get his rhythm back. But if it was up to him, he'd be fighting Regis already. But they just couldn't put the fight together so soon. So it'll happen. It'll happen, and hopefully it happens in December, because that's what Mikey wants. Mikey wants to get it back right away, and hopefully we could put it together in December.
Sounds good. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be a great fight, a great matchup, and Mikey does want the big fights that he can get up for, and yes. Regis as well. I mean, I got to give Regis some credit. He could have said, the first time I did mention it to him when he was on the show, the very first time he said it'd be an honor to share the ring with Mikey Garcia. That was years back, and now it looks like it's going to be reality.
I hang around with him in Colombia too. It was crazy because it was in Colombia. We went to an amateur tournament, and I was invited by the WBA, and so was he. And we got to sit and talk and hang out. And he's a great person, man. Him, his manager, they're both great people. And it's awesome to have those type of fighters fight each other, and win or lose, still friends. Nobody's talking shit. Nobody's hating anybody. That's what this sport is all about. Inside the ring, obviously they're gonna try to beat the shit out of each other, but outside of the ring, they're all gentlemen, and they have nothing bad to say about each other. So it's great to have people like this in boxing.
Exactly, show class. I got another. Here's a comment. This is from Showtime Sean Porter. It says, Tell him I have the utmost respect for him and his family, and I look forward to having him. Okay, there's a plug. Okay, get on, Sean. I look forward to having him on the Porter Way podcast one day.
That'd be awesome. You know what? And Porter and his dad, I don't know him very well, but from what I see and the way they train and the way they fight, they're hardworking, man. Those are the people that you got to be worried about. And I'm telling you, because there's been a few fights where I pick, his opponent, thinking that he's not going to win, but he proves me wrong, and that makes me happy, because somebody like him, his dad, who started off, since the beginning together, and they're always kind of like in the B side, and they go out there and pull fights off. That's great. I'm very happy to see them, where they're at, and now that he's got a big fight coming up, I wish him the best. I know he's going to be in great shape, and him and Crawford are going to put a great fight for us fans, and we're going to enjoy a great fight, because I know it's going to be a hell of a fight.
I was just about to ask you, I mean, how do you see that fight, the layout, and what does Sean Porter need to do to neutralize the champ? Because the champ is he's nasty in there.
And that's where I'm going. See, because it's happened before. I hate to say it, but I think Crawford wins, but I'd be so happy to see Spence pull it off. You know what I mean? Because he's a great person. He's a great person. Always very respectful to everybody, to me, my team. Always been great to us when we meet each other. So I would like to see him win. Pull off this big fight, probably the biggest win of his career. But I think Crawford's a little bit on a different level. But Porter's style is those styles that proves people wrong. Maidana versus Broner. There you go. Maidana versus Broner. Nobody gave Maidana, but his style, ugly style, dirty style, and I think Porter does the same. Porter could pull it off, and I would be happy to see that.
Well, Robert, I got to disagree with you on that one. I got Sean Porter on this one, and we probably need to wager I don't know, a steak or a dozen tortillas or something good, man. I mean, because I can see it. Hey, I got nothing with beef with Crawford. Crawford is pound for pound. The man is nasty. The man is mean. But I like the storyline of Sean Porter. Every time he gets in the ring, I mean, he makes his opponent feel very uncomfortable. Eric, you've studied Sean Porter before. How do you see this fight laying out?
I see it actually going the distance. I think it's going to go by decision. I don't see any of these two getting the knockout just based on their styles. I'm a huge fan of Crawford. I'm a huge fan of Porter, so this is a difficult fight for me. But unfortunately, I do think Crawford's going to get the win on this. I think his style is a little bit more different than we're used to seeing, and I'm not sure, and I'm hoping that Porter, really studies that and really sees it. But I think it'll be by decision. I don't think it'll be. It's going to be an exciting fight. It's going to be it's going to go the distance for sure. And I just think, I think Crawford's going to come away with it. And nothing against Porter. He's a good guy, and him and his dad. Obviously they've done a lot of work in the business, and but this is going to be a really tough fight for him.
It is, and Robert, I say that because I'm going to go with the underdog. I am. I'm going to go with the side that people probably think that he's going to put up a good account of himself, but just come up short. And I'm pulling for Crawford. This may be one of his last hurrahs where he just able to bring it. Because Robert, you know as well as I do, he's fought the best out there, and he hasn't ducked anybody.
No, you know what? He hasn't. He probably has better opponents. When it comes to looking at their records, but I think Crawford's skills. I think Crawford has great skills. He switches from lefty to righty. But I also agree with Eric. I think it will go the distance, and it could go either way. It's going to be a great fight.
Yes, it
I
is.
think Porter has a great chance of winning, but I do pick Crawford. I do give the edge to Crawford, but I'm telling you, I won't be surprised if Porter pulls it off because he's a warrior. He's a fighter. He was raised to be a fighter, and he's got no giving up in him, and he's gonna do whatever it takes to win. So I know it's gonna be a great fight.
I agree with you. Now, this is coming from a Richard Torres Sr. He said, "Give him my best. Give my best to the Hall of Fame coach, Robert Garcia."
Hey, you know what? That's great to hear. Never met them, never met him and his son, but I know
Awesome,
that
awesome people, Robert. You have to meet them.
they should be
Awesome
so proud.
people.
You know what? Just watching, the news and all over social media, winning his first fight, winning his second, going into the medals, making it to the finals. It just, we're from California. It just makes us so proud
Absolutely.
to have somebody, with a Latino last name, Torres, representing the United States, from a small town where very few people know where that's at.
Yeah,
it's
Tulare.
unbelievable, and I have nothing but respect, love for the family because they've worked their whole life for this. I know, from what I've been reading, I know the grandpa,
Yes.
the great grandpa were also boxers. So it's great to hear that story. And now, Richard winning a silver medal in the Olympics, that's huge. That's fucking unbelievable. And I am so happy to say that they're from California. It's unbelievable. I love it. I love that story.
Nice people, the mom, the dad, the sister, very warm people. I mean, they made the trip. They've been on the show numerous times, and just very warm people. Nothing has changed them, and I wish them nothing but success. But I got to ask you this, Robert. What would happen if Richard Torres Jr. walked through the doors of Robert Garcia's boxing academy and he said, "Sir, can you wrap my hands?"
Look, maybe a few months ago or so, I would probably say, you know what, I've never really trained heavyweights, or I'm not, I don't, I work better with smaller weight divisions. But now I have a super heavyweight that actually just signed with Top Rank and is making his pro debut October 15 in San Diego on ESPN Plus. So I would be more than happy because we need sparring, and I know that they would both help each other very well. Richard Torres, from what I've seen, in the Olympics, it would be an honor to have him just come and visit. You're saying wrap his hands. I'm thinking sparring, but just him visiting would be something great because I have Esquiva Falcao who was I think also bronze or silver medalist. I have Misael Rodriguez who got the bronze medal representing Mexico, which also made us very proud, from Mexico. But this kid is from California. This kid is representing our country and representing our state. So that makes it even more interesting for us that are from California, that we are from the United States. It's an honor to know that there's a silver medalist close by, and coming to the gym would even make it even better.
It's an amazing story. Last time they were on the show, and you said they were more than welcome whenever they wanted to come by. And you should have seen the look on Junior's face. He said it'd be an honor to go there. The dad said, "Hey, it'd be an honor to show up." And I interrupted him. I said, "Hey, you two ain't going alone. You two are going. I'm going with you guys. So don't be surprised if you see a third party walking through that door, Robert. You know damn well I will be there if those two gentlemen walk through that door."
You guys are more than welcome. It would be an honor to have you guys over here.
Appreciate that. Now, this next one's coming from Hall of Famer Lee Samuels. I mean, I'm gonna keep it real. He asked about 10 to 12 questions. I mean, the man is as you know, a great publicist, a great journalist. He's been writing stories when we were in both Pampers, Robert. He had one that really stuck out to me in my mind. If you were to stop training today, or you weren't training anymore, what trainer would you choose to train your fighters today?
Wow. That's Lee, man. I love Lee.
That's a great question. I can't take credit for that. That's Lee Samuels, Hall of Famer.
It is a great question. But look, who else but my son? You know, my son Pita, my Chepe and Art, who are, they're learning every day. They're disciplined to their job. They train hard. They love winning. They hate to lose. So they're young also. That all three are in their 20s. Mid 20s. So they want to continue winning. They want to grow. They want to get better and better. So I think I would have to choose the guys that I already have in my gym, and that's my son Pita, Chepe, and Art.
That's a great answer, and you know what? I really didn't give it that thought, but that's a no-brainer for you. It really is. Correct. But he made you dig down deep just for that second. I know you thought outside of the box.
Because the first thing that comes to your mind is, okay, fuck, who you want? You think of top trainers, Freddie Roach, Emmanuel Stewart, rest in peace, Emmanuel Stewart, yes. or Nacho Berenstein, that's the first thing that comes to your mind. Great trainers, but no, I want to pick youngsters that are disciplined, that want to accomplish. All these other trainers have already accomplished so much that they might not have the same hunger anymore. And these three kids, they work their ass off. They want to continue building champions, and they want to continue being part of RGBA, and they train their ass off. They work their ass off to get nothing but wins. So those will be my choice without even hesitating.
Eric, I can concur on that. I mean, that would be the direction to go. Yeah. I mean, everything's there. Eric, you talked to me today. You shared with me a little bit today that you never stopped being a fan of Robert Garcia's Boxing Academy and just the whole family itself. You share with me, when he held the mitts for you, and you shared also that story that, hey, when it came to one of your other friends, you chose Robert in a certain world title fight. I'm not going to elaborate too much, man, but now that you're working with him, are you still that fan that even though you're working with him and you guys are close friends?
Oh yeah, definitely. He knows that. I never stopped being a fan. I knew Robert's history before I really knew Robert, and I knew everybody at La Colonia. I studied them. That to us was the competition, so we had to learn that. That's who, when we went to these tournaments here and there, that's who we heard of. The guys from Oxnard. Oxnard's going to get you guys, and that was our fear. So that's who we had to study. We had to study the Vargas, the Garcias, the all these guys that were coming out. So, watching them grow to what they've grown to today, it's been amazing. It's been a blessing. But Robert can tell you, I'm a fan before a friend, and it's always going to be that way. I've learned so much from him from when I had the gyms, up here. I took a lot of what he was doing in the corners and how he was training the guys, and the way he motivated them, and the way he kind of molded them into, this is what they have to be, this is how they have to train. I took that to heart, and I really looked at that, and I instilled that in the kids that we had over here. Because right off the bat, I asked Robert, we got the gym opening, we got this going on. I don't want to deal with pros. I just want to deal with the amateurs, because there's so much politics and so much drama and all this. And he kind of pushed that on me. It was like, yeah, deal with the amateurs right now, work with that, because that's going to teach you so much more as a trainer. I got the advantage of the manager and all that on the side, but training was always that's what it's going to be. Obviously Robert's been blessing me and saying, hey, come do some corners here, come do this. And I study everything while we're there. I kind of watch what he's got going on, see how his fighters are doing it and whatnot. Just like he does, I watch videos after videos every night and just, kind of see what we got going on, and prepare my fighters for, their pro debuts and whatnot. It's always been a venture. Again, it's always been a blessing. And, like I said, Robert's I've always been a Robert fan and always will be. But it's been definitely a blessing to be his friend, and looking forward to working with him more in the future. And, we've hopefully got some things planned for coming soon.
No,
Yeah, Eric, you know what? But like I'm pretty sure I I see you. I see what you mean about being the fan first, but honestly, to me, I like it better as a good friend. We're friends. We go have
right.
together, not just like somebody that wants to be around me because that's not the way you are. You say you're a big fan, but I like the fact that you come around not being a little intimidated or trying to fit in. You come in because you're my friend. We hang out. We'll go have a beer. We'll it doesn't matter. We'll fucking share the same bedroom in a hotel room if we have to because we're friends.
That's right.
Not because you're a fan. No, I rather see you and I already do see you like that because if I'm in Fresno, I call you, hey, come over. I'm gonna have this fights, and you're in there with me. That's what's happened. And this, coming show, you'll be part of it too. Hopefully you could come in a few days before, so you could be part of everything. And actually, I'm gonna, before I forget, on Friday morning, the day of the weigh-ins, I'm gonna fly from Fresno to San Diego because I have 6 fights in San Diego that Friday before. So I won't be at Mikey's weigh-ins, but I have to fly into to San Diego, work the fights for the Top Rank show, and then after that I'm gonna drive straight back to Fresno after the fights. So I will not be at the weigh-ins. That's what I'm coming. I'm gonna need help. I'm gonna need some. You know what I mean? I'm gonna need somebody, and who else better than you?
No, I thank you. No, definitely. You can always count on me, and I'll be there for the team always. And like I said, you're right. How many times have we gone to dinner, bullshitted, all this stuff, and then you realize, oh shit, it's late. We got to wake up the next morning for some fights. So shit happens all the time. But it's been a fun venture. You've definitely been able to see everything that I've done. I've been very blessed to be able to see everything that you've done. It's funny that we've shared. One thing I've always told you, and I always tell him this all the time, Rich. I'm waiting for the day that his fighter and my fighter fight.
There you go.
And how many times have I told you, oh, we got to get something, we got to get something going. But I'm not going to be satisfied until my fighter fights your guy, win or lose. I don't care, but I want that to happen one day. And that's always been a goal.
For sure, and that could happen pretty soon.
Yeah, hopefully.
That could happen. I mean, that's great, and it will happen. I mean, it needs to happen. And hey, iron sharpens iron, man. Robert, here's the thing, Robert. You are a very humble man, but you have this effect on people. I don't know anybody who honestly dislikes you, and if they do, what reason? There is none. I mean, you were liked by many. I mean, Lee Samuels went on and on about you. Brad Goodman, Brittany Goosen always has good things to say about you, and everybody. And see, the thing about it is you don't adapt to anybody. You keep it real, bro. 100%. I've always said, I said it numerous times on the show. If you want the truth, ask Robert Garcia a question.
You know what? In this sport, in this world, nobody's perfect, and everybody has made mistakes. And there's a saying in Spanish, and even there's even songs. No soy monedita de oro. Meaning I'm not a golden token. So everybody could like and love. I know there's also some people that might not like me. Some people that might say something bad about me, but they won't tell you all the good things I did for them either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just the way this life is, especially in this sport. It's full of envy, full of, people wishing you bad, people happy to see you lose. It happens. And not in the real boxing world, like you just mentioned, Lee Samuels, Brittany Goosen, they're great people, man. I love those people. they're never gonna say something bad about me because they know me, they know better. But it's sometimes it's even your own family, even if people that you grew up with, people that you helped before, but that won't mention that. They'll mention something that you might have not done for them, and that's why they hate you. But they won't tell you all the good things you did for them, and it's just part of life, bro. It's not, I already know that. I've learned so much from my dad, especially this last 6 months. Well, yeah, going on 9 months actually since my mom passed. Every day I'm spending it with my dad. We eat breakfast, we eat dinner together. My dad talks to me, and we've talked so much that I've learned so much from life from listening to him. Stories that I had never heard before from back in Mexico, coming to the United States, all that. I think I've learned how life is even more now that in this last 8 9 months that I've been spending it with my dad every single day. I think I've learned more than probably the rest of my life.
Well, you have a man with wisdom around you, and
Correct.
I mean, you got a bachelor's, you got a master's, you got a doctorate from a man who lived boxing, slept boxing, went to work in the morning, and all he thought about was getting off to come home and train you. And you talked about the sacrifice growing up. You didn't get to go to the prom. You didn't get to go out for the baseball or the football team, but your dad knew. And we talked about, and I've asked you before, did you ever in your wildest dreams think that his dream of having a world champion would grow to be where you guys are today?
Never. Honestly, never. When I decided to start training and becoming a trainer, I never really thought I would be where I'm at now. I started doing it because I love to. I love the idea of traveling. Going to different cities, different places. Not having to make weight, not having to go to bed early because you have to make weight the next day or fight the next day. I love that. The traveling, the having to being able to drink a beer if I wanted to, or grab a hamburger if I wanted to, things that I couldn't do when I was a fighter. So that's what kind of caught my attention, just getting away and, doing stuff that I had never done before. But now as a trainer, I got, I'm not done, bro.
Oh no.
Bam is my next title fight, and he'll be my 14th world champion. But we got kids right behind him. Virgil Ortiz. The moment that this kid gets a title opportunity, he's gonna destroy whoever steps inside the ring with him. And it doesn't matter who it is at welterweight. I know he's not ranked up there with the top 2 or 3 welterweights because you gotta acknowledge that Errol Spence has done so much for boxing at welterweight division. Crawford has done so much. There's so many fighters out there. Even Ugas right now as a world champion, but I think Virgil can beat any of those guys, and I think he will. So I'm not done. And then I got all these guys turning pro, man. I got kids turning pro in the next 2 weeks on the top ranked card. I got another couple turning pro in Mexico 2 weeks after that. We have amateurs that are very talented. I have my nephew, man, Mikey's son, Django. That kid is 6 years old, and if you guys have seen some of those videos, him doing mitts with my dad, I want to see him turn pro one day and become a champion. And I told my dad, look, when you seen Mikey become world champion, or when you seen Mikey turn pro, you were older than I will be when this kid turns pro at 18. So I still have 20, maybe even 30 years more of boxing. So I'm not done. I want to continue doing this, and I want to continue building champions. And I want to, if it's 14 in a couple of weeks, I want it to be 28. In the future, I don't want to stop there.
Well, I mean, everything is in place. You're not just building an academy; you're building a legacy, Robert. And that's going to be passed on from generations to generations. You have no choice, brother. The talent's all around you. You're obligated now because it's in your gene pool, man, and it's in your kid's gene pool. So the name Garcia is going to be a landmark when right next to the word boxing.
Definitely.
I want to ask you this, man. I want to talk a little bit more about Mikey's trip to Fresno in the whole fight. We talked about, I said one of the fights that I'm looking forward to, fighters as well as a fight, is Bam Rodriguez. But we also have the professional debut, the homecoming of Mark Castro, who's going to be on the card. Signed with Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. I'm very excited to see this kid live. I followed him as an amateur. I know his father. I know the kid. And talk about some talent and a well-rounded fighter. What's your take on the young Mark Castro, and where do you see his career going?
You know what? I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was on his contract where the zone was to put up a fight for him in his hometown. And look, now with Mikey and Bam on the card, fighting on the big fights, he gets to be on the card, and he's going to be fighting in his hometown. So, the kid for many, many years, winning national titles in the amateurs. I've known this kid for many years. His dad, I know very well. His dad is a good friend of mine, and I've been to his fights. I haven't helped in the corner, but I've been in the corner with him when he's fighting with him and his dad and Marcos, because Marcos is a good friend of mine.
Yes.
He's my former assistant when I had on my team in Oxnard, and I love to see kids like him, get better and better, and hearing him signing with Eddie Hearn and getting a really nice contract, and seeing him fight on the co-main event on Canelo's card. Those things are huge for somebody like him. So now fighting his hometown in front of his crowd, it's gonna be awesome. It's great to have him on the card, and I'm gonna have a great time. With his dad Marcos the week of the fight, because we're good friends.
Big shout out to Marcos.
Definitely.
Good dude. I was talking to him today, matter of fact, this morning, and we're sharing some ideas, and something special is going to take place when Mark enters the ring, and I'll leave it there.
Mark is talented. Fresno's behind him. I know everybody's going to get excited to see him in the ring at his home. So it's going to be great. And, and for me, seeing the dad, having him since the beginning and working, in the amateurs, there's so many amateur tournaments, amateur fights, where every weekend the dad is with the son, taking them to the tournaments, taking them to go spar, taking them to go just to regular local fights in LA. So that's a lot of sacrifice. Marcos, my friend from Oxnard, Marcos been doing the same thing for many years. Now seeing him, working the corner with Mark, it makes me happy, because, we grew up knowing Marcos. He was my assistant. My wife and his wife are very good friends. My wife actually goes to Oxnard, and my daughter, just to get their hair done by Marcos's wife. They're good friends. They're very close. And seeing them, fighting, and the whole crowd behind him, it's gonna be unbelievable. I'm very happy for them and the whole team.
I'm looking forward to that, Eric. We talked about that, and we didn't know if he would and when he would fight in Fresno, and this just fell in place. I'm glad Mikey did what he did, and a lot of people get to benefit from that. And you said even though he was in the contract, hey, better sooner than later.
Yeah, no, it's great. No, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. And to piggyback off what Robert said, Marcos is a really good trainer. I brought him into Stockton on a couple of fights, and every fight that he's out here, it's always good to hang out with him. Always good to see him and whatnot. So seeing Mark Castro on this card got me excited right off the bat.
What got me excited was that little information that Robert shared with you off camera. And you said, okay, brother, no, call me after the show and we'll talk. And so I want to say, but I never will. I'm not that guy, but damn well I'm going to call you tomorrow, Eric. And I'm going to text you too, Robert, especially if you sit there and say, hey, man, let me know what's up, man. Let me know what you need. What can I do on my side, on my end? But
we'll have to see. There's a lot of ropes that we'll have to get through, and a lot of hurdles and whatnot. But this has been in the works for some time now. We've been trying to work some things out and get some RGBA fighters in Northern California more, and we had a couple things that we had planned out, and then COVID hit, and it kind of messed it all up. But we've been little by little working on it, and some dates got thrown out recently. But I think once Mikey's fight got released, it kind of definitely threw a lot of things on the back burner, because this was the more exciting fight. Yeah. This is the fight that we all wanted to see and we were all excited for. But there might be some new dates coming up here pretty soon. Robert and I still got to talk a little bit more, and hopefully we'll be seeing a lot more things coming up here pretty soon. The year's still not over, so we'll see what we got going on. There's little tidbits that Rich got lucky to hear, but we'll see how it goes.
Robert, let me tell you about mine and Eric's conversation sometimes, because I'll hear something and I'm not too sure, and I'll go, "Hey, Eric, have you heard any of this, bro? Or what's going on?" Or, "No, bro, I haven't heard." Or, "No, not really." Or, "Hey, bro, let me call you back later." And then I'll find out Eric knew, and I'll say, "Eric, you knew this was going to happen? This fight was announced? What's going on?" And you go, "Hey, brother, I really couldn't say anything, but yeah." He goes, "You may want to interview this guy." He said, "You may want to interview this guy or this guy," but Eric's always hearing shit.
I'll shoot him the flyer, and then I'll say, "Oh, this is going to get posted right now." And I was like, "Oh, but I didn't know about it. My bad."
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? Hey, Eric's a good dude. That's my dude, man. And you know what? I like to surround myself with real people. I really do. And Robert, the very first time that I met you, and yeah, that was the time you were working a corner, but hey, bro, I was in media for that second. I got started. I go, "That's fucking Robert Garcia." Because you weren't even supposed to be there, but I recognized you. And a lot of people did not recognize you because they go, "Who was that? Who'd you just ask?" Or who just, and I go, "Man," "Google him, man. I'm watching the fight, or don't get in my lane right now," because I had tunnel vision. And here's the thing. I'll tell you this, Eric. That interview we did was jacked up. You know why? Because there was no light. I didn't want to lose him. I didn't want him to change his mind. I said, "Hey, can we do this interview?" And Robert said, "Hey, do you want to go in the light?" And I go, "No, we're good here." Brother, it was pitch dark and it was pitch dark and everything, man. I just didn't want him changing his mind. I said, I finally got this guy next to me, a legend, and I get to interview him. I mean, that's how starstruck I got when I first met Robert Garcia in person. Because, Robert, I used to watch your fights, bro, all the time. I did. At the forum, I studied you. I watched you. I can say that now because I consider you a friend. And every time I go to your gym, you said, "Richard, you're more than welcome. Whenever you want to come, bro, just let me know." And whenever I went there, you made me feel at home every single time.
And you're welcome anytime, man. You know that this is RGBA is your house.
Well, I appreciate that, man. And I have nothing but respect. And Eric's always looking out for you, man. Eric has your back. And I'm going to get off that already. But Eric does have your back. That's a solid motherfucker in your corner right now.
I know that. I'm telling you, you don't need to tell me, bro. I know that.
I do what I got to do, right?
Exactly.
Look, I'm telling you, I'm catching a flight from Fresno to San Diego. But I know that if I told Eric, "You know what, I have to drive," he'll drive with me. I know that for a fact. That's
do it.
That's the type
do it.
Yes.
We've done a lot of late night shit in Fresno. Might as well keep going, right?
What shit? Who do you think's gonna sit in the back seat, brother?
Even better. Shit, maybe we'll drive. I don't know. Maybe we'll drive to San Diego and back after.
Might as well.
No, but you do it, man, and you never sell yourself short, man. Because one of the questions that came in is somebody had asked. I guess there was one card I believe in San Antonio might have been that you had 8 fighters on the card, or close to 7 fighters
on the San Diego card. You know, the main event, obviously, Negrete. What's his name? He's fighting Joel Gonzalez. Navarrete.
Yes.
That's the main event. It's actually going to be a great fight. But we have 6 on the undercard.
Wow. So do you just go and change the jackets of the fighter, or you keep the same jacket on? How does that work, Robert?
I wear my own jacket. I never wear nobody else's jacket. I wear my own jacket when it comes to corner, because I also have to represent my guys. You know, my South Coast Mitsubishi. You know, right now, you know, Adidas, Snack, MTK. You know, I got to represent everybody. So I wear my own jacket. But yeah, you know, we're gonna. It's gonna be Pita. Pita's gonna stay with Mikey for the weigh-ins, but I'm gonna have Chepe and Art help me out. Dr. Anderson, I think I'm gonna try to have him there as our cutman, so that way, you know, we don't have a hard time. You know, if I'm working a fight and Chepe needs to stay in the locker room to warm somebody else up, he's gonna stay. You know, that's the way we're gonna make it happen. You know, so we've done it before. You know, there was this one show, and it was also a top ranked show, and at the StubHub, we had I think Brandon Rios fought, Nonito Donaire fought, but we also had 6 on that card. So altogether, we had 8 on that card, and we were able to manage it pretty good, you know.
No, that's good. I will say one thing though. When Isidro Ochoa fought in Fresno, you wore a thumbs up for Richie's shirt, and it had the fighter's voice in the back, and I remember that. And you wore that shirt in the ring in the corner, bro. And hey, I'll never forget that.
Well, why wouldn't I do it again if you want me to? I would definitely, bro.
Amen to that. Hey, guys, before we go, I want to give a shout-out. This guy's from Stockton, California. He's fighting this weekend, and that's Wade Jones III. I mean, this kid is undefeated. We'd had him on the show before. This kid's an awesome talent. He has a lot going for him. You know him personally, Eric, and he's fighting this Saturday. And, hey, here at the Fighter's Voice, man, we want to wish him well. Robert, I know you want to wish him well as well, because any friend of ours is a friend of yours.
Definitely. No, wish him good luck, and you know, hopefully he comes out with a win, and you know, just stay focused, dedicated, you know, do what you train to do, and that's go and kick some ass.
Definitely. Big shout out to Wade. I mean, him and his team, they're going to be doing some amazing things here pretty soon. You know, for sure, a future world champ, and, you know, especially with his coach and his trainers, and it's going to be a good fight.
Team Nasty, man. Team Nasty, they got it going on over there. They got some good things that are happening, man. They were on the show. Very, very nice people, very warm people, and very appreciative, Eric.
No, that's awesome.
Well, Robert, man, I hate to say goodbye. It's almost like the Mickey Mouse Club. Here's a time to say goodbye, right? But, I mean, brother, you've never turned me down for an interview. You've always been a class act. You've always been 100% with me. I can't say enough good things about you, but it's the truth, bro. It's the truth. Robert, when can we follow you? When's your next podcast coming out? Robert Garcia Unfiltered.
I think we lost him.
Oh, he probably laughed, man, or laughed himself off the air. But Eric, you know this as well as I do, man. I mean, that's one of the most honest dudes. I enjoy watching his show, Robert Garcia Unfiltered as well, and he keeps it real, man. A lot of his things they're unscripted. When topics are brought up, he'll give you his assessment, and I listen. Not only do I listen to the show, Eric, I learn a lot.
No, definitely. Him and Pita, man, they've got an insight on the boxing.
We got to fix that.
That not a lot of others don't, and they're able to voice it to the fans in a way that they understand.
Yeah. And
it's, you know, obviously an amazing show. You know, I'm always tuned in, ready to watch as soon as they announce their shows coming on. So it's a good thing.
Two things happen. Either Robert just dropped the mic on us, which was cool, or he answered Rick's call. See, Rick's calling him right now, and Rick knows damn well he's supposed to be on the show today. So, you know, Rick is Rick. It's all good. We're going to have Rick on the show next Thursday, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. So you get to hear from the promoter himself and manager of Jose Ramirez. He's going to be co-promoting with Eddie Hearn in Fresno, California, and promoting Mikey Garcia's fight, along with Bam Rodriguez. And we also got the young Mark Castro on the card, promoted by Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Boxing. Eric, what do we have in the works? What do you got to say to the fans and followers, man? Because, I mean, I've been watching you, and we're going to leave in a little while, but Dog Boxer's blowing up, bro. The whole apparel, the hand wraps, the whole logo itself is doing well.
Yeah, no, definitely. We're definitely in the works for some stuff right now. We just did a collaboration with Carrie Melendez and Gilbert Melendez over at the El Nino Training Center. So we've got some brand new hand wraps that we co-signed with them and the Scrap Pack crew. As you know, the Scrap Pack crew includes Nick and Nate Diaz and Jake Shields and whatnot. So we got that collab that just came out. We definitely got some hoodies that are ready to get printed up here pretty soon. I do want to say, unfortunately, we did lose one of our founders, Gavin Lewis. Rest in peace. We just lost him recently. It's been a definite battle since he's left us, and we kind of didn't know what we were going to do next. We kind of scrambled on what we wanted to do, and we knew right off the bat that he wanted the brand to keep going and keep striving. We're very blessed that his girl Sophie is stepping in and just really just taking it, to the next level where she wants to see it go as well. So, we're going to be seeing some things here pretty soon. The month of October is going to be just extremely busy with events that I'll be attending. You heard it from Robert. I'll be, everywhere from Fresno down to Oakland to who knows where at this point. I haven't even really got my schedule all lined up, but you'll definitely be seeing Dog Boxer a lot at the events now, and hopefully we'll be seeing something here pretty soon. As far as more collaborations with different people, and we'll see how it goes.
Well, I'm excited about the collaboration with the Fighter's Voice, because we really got to sit down and we really got to landmark this and make this happen. But I do want to take this time, because I did speak to you when you did lose your close friend. A lot of people may not know who he is. Eric, right now, describe what type of man he was.
Gavin's the type of guy that takes one thing and blows it up. Perfect example. Everybody wraps their hand with war tape. That's what he was known for. He made war tape. He made war tape what it is today. Unfortunately, there were some issues. He didn't get the full credit, blah, blah, blah. But everybody knew it. Until this day, everybody still knows it. So that's him. When Dog Boxer was first coming out and, we were talking about, let's do this. He already had an idea. He already knew what it was going to be. And he said, just prepare for it. Before I knew it, we had more hand wraps than we could deal with. We had more shirts than I even knew. And everything was flooding everything. And his main focus was, this will be the most exclusive combat apparel that you'll ever see. Mark my word.
Wow.
I thought he was joking. Little did I know, everyone from Ellie Setback, Mike Tyson, Sugar Ray Leonard to, the Nick Diaz had it on his shorts at one time. The Gilbert Melendez of the world. Majority of RGBA camp has worn it, has wrapped their hands with my hand wraps. It flooded before I even knew what to do, and that's who he was. You could give him just a little piece of something, and he would blow it up into the next big thing. He was quick to call you to make sure you were good. He was quick to make sure everything was taken care of when it needed to be taken care of. He was a man of his word. That was the most important thing. He was a man of his word. If he told you he was going to do something, he did it. He was a huge fan of the Fighter's Voice. He used to rock the Fighter's Voice shirts that I got him. He was just a huge fan of boxing in general, MMA. He got me into the MMA game so big. He was just a fan of everything and everything that he absorbed, and he just absorbed everything around him. But when he absorbed it, he didn't let it go to waste. He expanded everything that he could. If there was a market to enter, he entered that market just to see what it was all about. So it was a tough battle. Everybody says it. I'm going to say it. Fuck cancer. Yeah. It was a tough battle for him. We all struggled. We all got lost to a point where I kind of didn't want to know what Dog Boxer was going to do next. I really thought, this is it. I don't see it doing anything else. I don't think that's what he would want, but he made it clear. Oh no, it's going to live, and it's going to live way past both you and I, and Lance, our other partner, he agreed. He said, no, we're going to keep it going. And it was tough. Once he passed, it was kind of, I was lost for a quick minute. I didn't know what we were going to do next. And Sophie jumped in right away and was like, no, this is what we're going to do. This is what Gavin wanted to do. And Gavin's not going to let us, die down with it. He's going to keep pushing us. And sure enough, we're at where we're at right now.
Very, very, very strong story, Eric. And I know he meant a lot to you. We spoke a little bit on the phone, and I could tell by your voice and just that you were truly hurt. But I knew you wanted to do something, and this is just a crumb. If there's anything in the future, I know you probably got something lined up, something special. All you got to do is let me know, and we're in. We're in both feet, because if anybody knows anything about losses, I know something about losses and personally. So I know what that means, and I know that we need to keep it positive, and the positive is through his brand, through his legacy, his name, and it is going to live on. He's going to live on. He's looking down right now, he's saying right now, "Yep, that's Eric."
No, he's looking down, talking shit.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
He's talking shit, saying, "How come this isn't going further and further? How come, why isn't our corner cushions at this fight?" That's how he was, though. I would show him, "Oh man, look, we're gonna have this and this and this." Okay, but what can we do to make it even better? Let's keep going. Let's keep going. That's how it was. So I know he's looking down. I know he's proud, but I know he's still thinking, okay, but what can we keep doing? What else can we do?
Yeah, exactly. Eric, we got a lot to catch up on. We really do. And I've been saying it for a while, man. There's nothing like having live in studio. I mean, we had Jose Ramirez, we've had Richard Torres, and we're going to be pulling some rabbits out of our hat, man, and do some things, especially when these fighters show up to Fresno, man. And I'm going to need your help and support, because I appreciate Zoom, but if they're in Fresno, my backyard, their ass is coming over here in studio. I'm going to designate that whole week from the minute I wake up. I already told my producer, Mateo, that those days that we have, the Tuesday and Thursday, those might not be the times. It may be, hey, I have from 12 to 1 open. I have from 2 to 3 open. And I'm going to keep those times open. I want to bring the Mark Castros, the Mikey Garcias, the Robert Garcias, and the Bam Rodriguezes, hell, even the Eddie Hearns of the world here in studio. If you don't ask for something big, then you're not asking for nothing at all.
There you go. No, it's going to be a good week. It's going to be a good fight week. Again, big shout out to Rick, always making things happen.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been to one of Rick's fights where I'm never impressed, because every fight that I've been to that he's done, it's been more and more impressive. Every time I see him, I always stop him and say, "God damn, Rick, look what you're doing. Look at this." He just laughs, he grins, and, he's very humble about it. But, big shout out to Rick for doing his thing, and it's going to be exciting. I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to it.
The man's a monster when it comes to promotion. I mean, the guy is prideful, where he is not going to let you outwork you. He probably has evenings where he's thinking, okay, what can I do better? Or what did I not do on the last show that I'm going to do this time? I mean, he just outthinks you, he outworks you, and it just to be affiliated with him. And a lot of people, they'll have their views on him, but they don't understand. When you're talking nonsense, he's working. He don't have time for bullshit. He doesn't. I mean, money can be involved. Money, you win it, you lose it. Time, you do not get back.
Exactly. And like I said, he's really, really a really down to earth ass guy. Every fight that I've been to, he's always stopped, shook my hand, asked how everything's going, and then boom, he's off to the races again. He's working his ass off and making things happen. But again, real big shout out to Rick. Thanks for really bringing boxing back to Northern California. Exactly.
I'm looking forward to it too. Well, Eric, that's all that we have today, man. How can we follow you on Instagram? You have a Twitter. How can we watch you and support? And especially, can you give us a clue of what Dog Boxer's coming out with next?
So right now, we're definitely working on some new hand wraps. Go to Bed is our CBD line that we've always had in the past. Shout out to Carlos, who made it what it is today, him and Gavin. So the next thing that we have coming out, some new hand wraps that we've collaborating with Go to Bed. Definitely you can reach out to Dog Boxer Athletics on Instagram and Twitter. You can reach out to me on dogboxer.eric on both Instagram and Twitter. Usually I'm more on the Instagram thing than anything, but definitely give a follow. Any questions, DM. We're always happy to take orders and whatnot. And, definitely looking forward to some collabs. So, I know some fighters out there want to collab. We're open to it. Trust me. We've collabed with a lot of fighters in the past, and we have no issues, helping out these, up and comers.
you're always offering your help and support, and a lot of times, I mean, you share with me that you get those calls at 10 o'clock, midnight, and just to make things happen. That's the type of person you are, man. And, you know, we got a lot of work to do, Eric. We got a lot of catching up to do, and we've talked many times. We're going to continue to press forward, but, you know, knowing you and being your friend, it means a lot to me. I from the very first time that I met you there, and along with Robert, man, and we got a lot of things to do, and just to be a part of it, to be a part of what you guys are doing, it's, you know, I'm flattered, I'm honored, and you know, we have the platform, and this is exactly what it's for.
No, definitely. I don't think a lot of fighters realize this is their platform. It says it in the name, the fighter's voice. You know,
it's theirs.
I always tell fighters, man, that's the show you want to be on, because little do you know that's gonna, you know, we see it as an escalation in their career, but it really does. It really does bring out a lot in what these fighters can say and what they can do. And you know, I've seen a lot of fighters on your show, and I've actually caught wind of fighters I didn't know about on your show, and it's always been a good thing because I've watched them grow and grow and grow. And it's, you know, I only see a lot of good things in the future for the Fighter's Voice. Obviously, you know, we're collabing with Dog Boxer together as a sponsor, and you know, we can only see it growing bigger and bigger. And I'm really super duper excited that, you know, we got some in studio, and looking forward to being down in your area and getting some studio time with you.
Hey man, I'm looking forward to it too, man. Well, now's that time, bro. We got to cut it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Richard Ortiz. I want to thank our guest today, Eric Dog Boxer. I mean, taking his time here and sharing his story, and sharing his story with his friend, and the whole Dog Boxer and the whole war tape, and also the future Hall of Famer. And a lot of times people forget that he's a former world champion and took the time to grace the microphone with us, and that's Robert Garcia. We got a great show for you coming up next Tuesday. We got the main event. Mikey Garcia will be with us at a special time, not 6 o'clock, but a special time of 8:30 on the Fighter's Voice. That'll be next week, next Tuesday. And also the promoter himself, who's making it all happen, man, and just a grinder when it comes to his work ethic, and that's Rick Merrigan, is going to be joining us here also on the Fighter's Voice. And remember, don't forget to subscribe. That's www.youtube.com/The Fighter's Voice. Remember, every fighter has a voice, and so do you. It's a wrap with my man Eric Dog Boxer. Thumbs up for Richie.